Tables of contents show the progression of information and where it's located within the document. Cross-references direct viewers of a document to information that is related to the current content but located in a different part of the document. Cross-references can refer to headings, marked paragraphs, figures, and more. They help with navigation and mean the author doesn't need to have to unnecessarily repeat information contained elsewhere. But it also allows the person to know, especially in large complex documents, that there is other information that perhaps they should look at. To create them, we start by selecting the text that starts the reference. In our business plan, we're going to go ahead and create one for our executive summary. If we scroll down from our table of contents and move all the way down until we start to see that executive summary, we'll be able to begin to look at that text. At the end of the third paragraph, the one that starts, "Although there is limited direct competition," we at the end of that paragraph have a sentence that ends, "Quality service is what the competition offers." We actually have a figure in the document that gives a comparison of the competition to the You Got It training company, and we want to refer people to that figure if they want to see it from here. The first thing, of course, is to always put the cursor where we want it to go. So service is what the competition offers. Maybe we'll go ahead and click after the S and before the period, and we'll press a space. Now, as part of our cross-reference, we do need to actually start it. So if I want to say something like see table 5 or see the table on page 6, I need to go ahead and type the first part of that. So we'll do an opening paren and the word see, followed by a space. Now we're ready to go ahead and insert the reference. Naturally, we can probably figure out we want to be on the References tab, and then we want to talk about cross-references, which we can find under the Captions category. This is actually important because what we're going to refer it to was created by using the Insert Caption feature. So now cross-referencing to that makes sense. We'll simply give this a click, and now we have to figure out what all of these options are. First of all, what type of reference are we going to be going to? Is it a heading, a bookmark, a footnote, an endnote, an equation, a figure? There are several things in the list. We actually created ours in this document as a figure, so we'll choose that. Depending on what the reference type is, you'll see different options for inserting a reference to. In this case, when we have a figure, do we want to reference it to the entire caption? Only the label and number, for example, figure 1, figure 7? Only the caption text, which might say, "You Got It Competitive Analysis," the page number, or something that just says above and below. For example, if the figure followed this, we could say, "See figure below." I think they'll start to make sense as you work with them. For our purposes, let's go ahead and say that we want to use the label and the number. Depending on which choice you make, you may have the option to say include above or below. Next, we can choose to insert it as a hyperlink or not. If we might be viewing this document on screen, this is probably a good idea. Then we need to designate which caption, and this, of course, is determined by what we selected on the top of the window. Here we're seeing a list of all of the figures that have been defined in this document. Naturally, we are looking for figure 4, Direct Competition Comparison. So with those few choices, we simply click Insert. And don't be tempted to click on it a second time because this box will actually stay open. You could make multiple references at one time. If you click and click and click, what's going to happen is you're going to have 3 or 4 of them in the background. Instead, we want to close, and that's where we will be able to see that it was actually inserted the way that we wanted it to be. Services as what the competition offers, see figure 4. Now again, we could continue to type, but here we're just going to put a closing parenthesis. Let's go ahead and do just one more, just so we can see it again. Let's move down about 3 or 4 lines and select the text that says vertical markets, as in needs of specific vertical markets and small businesses. We do not want to select the text, but we want to put the cursor at the end and type our precursor text, if you will. We're not getting very creative by just saying see, but you get the idea. You could put anything here that you want. We'll click on the cross-reference option. This time we're actually going to reference one of our headings in the document. So we'll change it from looking for a figure. We'll scroll up and we'll choose the heading itself. This time we can choose the heading text, the page number, the heading number with no context, the heading number with full context. You kind of get the idea. Well, we looked at one that was kind of short last time, so let's do one that's longer. Heading number, full context. Then we simply need to make the selection. There happens to be a heading called Vertical Market Direct Mail Campaign. We can select that, insert, close the window, and here we can see this doesn't make much sense. It says C0. Sometimes you have to play around with or understand how the document is formatted. In this case, we didn't have any numbering. So let's press our backspace, which highlights that field. Press backspace again to delete it, and we can just start over. The point is, you're never stuck. If you do something and you don't like it, you can change it. Now, we could have also just double-clicked on that field and brought this window back up instead of starting all over again. This time, we don't want the heading number. Obviously, that's not appropriate for this particular heading. Instead, let's go ahead and just use the heading text. We still want to work with the Vertical Market Direct Mail Campaign. We still want to click Insert, and we still want to say Close. Now we can see how this is much better. And to finish it off, we'll type the closing parenthesis. Generally, cross-references should be used when topics are discussed in one area of the document and related information is found in another. In our business plan, we offer an executive summary, but want readers to easily be able to know where to find additional information regarding some of the topics, so we use them here. Cross-references are yet another of Word's tools that we can utilize to reference our document and still carry with it the benefits of being automatically updated if the document changes, instead of simply typing in a cross-reference manually. What I mean by that is we certainly could have just said, see Vertical Market Direct Mail Campaign section. That would have been fine, but that would have been hard-coded, and if the name of that changed, we would have had to change it ourselves. The benefit of using fields runs throughout this particular chapter on all of our references, and cross-references are no exception.